All right, I'm Dino. I'm CEO. Look at this. CEO, come to death row of the best comic book podcast, Tales from the Flip Side. If you're worried about buying bad comic spec, listen to other YouTube channels, and you have to move into your parents' basement, you come to Tales from the Flip Side. If you have a white refrigerator and you want a stainless steel fridge, you come to Tales from the Flip Side. You worried about how many ups and downs you have to listen to pay attention during the week, you come to Tales from the Flip Side. Are you watching other people out there who get their PayPal frozen? Come to Tales from the Flip Side.
You're listening to Tales from the Flip Side. Tales from the Flip Side. Tales from the Flip Side.
Oh boy.
Come to death row.
That was excellent, brother. Excellent. What's up, everybody? Little bit of a slow news week in comics, but we've got a lot of fun stories for you tonight. We've got news, a little bit of news, some market report, some interesting stuff we're going to talk about tonight. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? I know Dino's fired up, baby.
Fired up. I got the chain. Let's go. We ain't messing around.
He had a cigar earlier, guys.
I did right here. We ain't messing around. We're going full it. So Ignite, look at that. I even changed my Instagram. Tales from Flipside CEO. That's where you come get me.
Oh goodness. I was nice and calm and he comes all fired up.
We're you know what, this whole year, we're talking about this whole new year. We are bringing the fire every show.
I think not only fire, ladies and gentlemen, but Honesty in Comics 2021, baby.
That's right.
Honesty in Comics 2021. So remember, everybody, the number one best kept secret in comics, Tales from the Flip Side, is now your 2021 YouTube channel for everything comics. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, hit the bell. You want to know when any of our shows drop, hit that bell and you'll get notified. So, all right, guys, what's going on? Anything interesting and exciting on your guys' home front? Anything fun?
No. Ton of mail calls this week, so excited about all that.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, but like I said, we're here to bring the fun. One of the things that everybody is talking about is WandaVision getting ready to drop here soon, and the spec on WandaVision is starting to kind of heat up and do all this craziness. But I know that if you guys watch Tales from the Flipside channel like you should be, Monocomic Mayhem is going to be doing little features on all the Marvel cinematic shows. So make sure you tune in Saturday night to that show. They're going to be going over every Friday night show the day before. So but it's getting closer. So I know everybody's getting kind of crazy. You're starting to get a little bit more of these MCU tidbits that are coming in and out. WandaVision, Loki, She-Hulk, whatever Nico's pulling out of those packages.
That's not going to be real recently. That's going to be like down the road. I buy in advance.
Oh, okay.
And for people in the back here, you don't need to guess him. It's just a Carter, man. We're taking it over. New Jack City style.
Yeah, so the revolution may not be televised, but it will be on YouTube and social media. If you would be so kind as to use the hashtag honesty in comics.
That's right.
On IG, I'd appreciate it. It'll let me keep track of who's watching what and who's doing what in comics.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Honesty in comics.
They are a changing.
Well, at least there's still fun to be had. We'll still give you all the fun, but we're going to be that place. We're going to be that one place where you get all your information is this channel. So make sure you guys like and subscribe.
I'm going to go a little off script here.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's going to be brutal. if you see a little, as Mel and the boys from Drunken Track call it, a little fuckery afoot, hit us up on Tales from the Flip Side Instagram. We'll come to correct it.
Yeah, integrity, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Ultra Maximus? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got the one and only Ozzy is in the house. Mike Zurcher, Gonzo, Dan the Man. What's up, brother? We got all kinds. That guy Deezy's in the house. What up, Wanted Comics? Just everybody in the chat tonight. We appreciate you. Dollar Bin's in the house. Make sure you guys are following Dollar Bin on IG. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming in 2020. You're going to see more of a lot of people that we just mentioned. So, again, make sure you subscribe. All right. What do you guys want to get into first here?
Let's you know what? I'll go a little off script too. You know what? We celebrated. No, fuck it. The whole show's off script. We don't even care anymore. So we did pass 2,500 subs, right? We're at 2,500 subs. But look what Dino did. Look what Uncle Dino did. Bottle of champagne, bust it open. We're not messing around. You know what? I do this for my enemies too, just like Dave Portnoy. You need to clip this. You know what? When people go down, I got a case of these with my enemies' names written on it. And we'll be popping them all year long.
Yeah. Should we start with the market report?
Sure.
Okay.
Wow, get right into it?
In the words of a wise man, give the people what they want.
All right. We can go with that. Why not? Let's mix it up. Everybody's going to be like, shit, I missed it.
Yeah, it's good for him.
All right. Hold on here. We're going to start out with...
Hold on here. Get this shit going.
I got to find the images.
Oh.
You got them like way down the freaking thing here. All right. Going to start off with some books that selling at all-time highs yet again. I mean, a 1.8 Hulk sold for $1,301. My mind cannot comprehend that. I believe there's 2 staples added. If I looked at the label,
I think I bought a raw 6.5 less than a year ago for $1,800.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on, you ready? And wasn't happy with the grade and promptly sold it.
I can't even comprehend. I know 3 years ago, which is forever ago, I paid $900 for what ended up being a 5.5. And I know last year I sold a green 8.5 missing the value stamp for maybe that much, maybe less. So for a 1.8, that to me is like, holy God.
What is a one like? What is this 1.8? Why? I didn't know that there was.
It's a kindness from CGC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just slightly better than a 1.5. I can't tell you exactly how you get there, but it usually looks a little nicer than it is. It fits there, but man, I don't know why there's a 1.8 versus any other grade there isn't.
I mean, I bought a 2.5 for $600 raw, and then I promptly sold it in Charlotte for like $22.50, I think, or some garbage. So I mean, that's not terribly out of line. I would think. I mean, that was a year ago. That was like a year ago, though.
It boggles my mind how high these low grades are going.
Yeah. So, long story short, like anything, I mean, if you watch the show, habitually, you're well aware our philosophy is you buy in at the bottom or you buy in at the top. There's less opportunity to make cash, really messing around with those mid grades. And then there's books like Hulk 181 that
doesn't seem to fucking matter.
They buck all trends with these major increases, but there's always some level of bump for the buy-in. You know what I mean? Just to have a copy. People will, in my opinion, overpay, but hey, it's still interesting. I guess I'm kind of curious as to whether or not this trend's just going to ride through for however long it takes for them to introduce Wolverine as a character on the screen. Certainly interesting.
I mean, I get it. I get everything's going up. This book is one where, like, I just don't think I can put money in it myself. I've seen it so much lower that it just is it's a mental block for me. Like I can't. I'm like I could have had it for a tenth of that 5 years ago, and
I also don't believe in the low grade is better than no grade. I think that's a terrible philosophy.
Really?
I think
Depends.
if it's your PC and it's the only what you can afford, yeah. But it's even better. Low grade's better than no grade. It comes from like selling. It's just how low of a grade you can get comparable to the market. So like even big. I wish big
What
labels
the fuck
here.
does that have to do with selling? It's all about like buying for your collection. It's a terrible selling philosophy.
No, dude. If Leg was here, he bought a bunch of low grade stuff, and you know
I'm not suggesting not buying low grade books, but this idea of like I want this book, so I'm just going to buy the shittiest copy I can afford.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think with
there's usually opportunity in the low grade because people
Yes.
undervalue what they have.
I love low grade books. I think that's a smart thing, but the idea of like low grade is better than no grade as a principle for buying comics doesn't make sense to me in every circumstance. It makes sense in some circumstances.
Golden Age, sure.
It makes sense there, for example. But like
AF-15, probably.
I think it's just really important to kind of, when you talk about comics, to remember that there's not really hard and fast rules as much as there are factors and influencers.
Well, obviously, this book right here is showing that low grade is better than no grade. If a 1.8 is going for $1,300, so maybe this is one of those.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. Now, if it's I want to buy 10 copies, 5 years ago for a fraction of the fucking price, as opposed to just buying one copy, because of the benefit of the bounce you get from having many of them and the pop for the entry level copy. But I think now, legitimately in my heart, from looking at these prices, it's the high grade copies that I think are going to fucking pull away, because the bottom has already started to rise before a spike, which is the time when the lowest grades are the least attractive, right? Because you can pay for a higher grade, or you can buy multiple low grades. I think you're better off buying multiple low grades. It's counterintuitive.
Well, I think if you buy multiple low grades, say you wanted a 5.0. Well, we'll just throw this for example, like a mid grade 5.0, maybe 6. Obviously, you maybe could buy a 5.0 and 6, but if you buy a couple 1.8s or 2.0s or 2.5s, you can flip that into a 5.0. You know what I'm saying? Like, right?
Well, yeah, you're always about flipping to get it better, and that's where that low grade, no grade thing is good, right? I mean, if you're
before the spike.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So, but you see what I'm saying? So now that it's spiked and the low grades have spiked, I think that's the worst place to buy in, because the high grades really haven't gone bonkers yet. Right.
Well,
so I think
it'll continue to
buy multiple copies at the low grade.
It's like a slinky. It gets compressed because the bottom raises and then the top goes up.
Well, let's talk about let's talk about a 7.0 or something. Let's talk about. It's like
7.0s, honestly. I mean,
yeah, it's like 4,300 right now on eBay. Well, I mean, that's just somebody asking, right? Does you think that even goes more nuclear when Wolverine hits it another time?
That's a mid grade. I think you got to be in at like 9.2 and above.
Yeah. Honestly, what I would rather think about is what are the other books that have potential to do this? Not a lot, but there's other books out there.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I didn't even know this. I mean, maybe I'm a dumbass about this, but I just was seeing there's a Mark Jeweler insert on a 181 too.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, there's one.
I'm just saying, at this point, I'm looking at the other books in the Bronze Age, going,
yeah. I had a Red Sonja.
I
had a Red Sonja 9.8.
Feels like
a Red Sonja 9.8 in that age, and that was just copper bronze age, and it's just like. I just sat there and was like, we sold it for way less than we should have. I mean, it was crazy. It went for like a couple $100. I'm like, trying to get a copper bronze 9.8 unheard of.
Well, that's the thing is you get a 9.8, you hold it for a while. They're going up. All that high grade copper is starting to go up, and we're seeing it. So, all right,
that's a good point. That's what we said before the bubble. Before the spike.
I think Rob just bought or is trying to sell a low grade Hulk 181. God bless him.
All right,
I'm sorry, Rob. Sorry.
His older cousin, the Hulk 1, a 2.5 off-white pages. just under 10 grand.
So well too.
This is a new high. Prior sale was about 9,300 a while back. This is a decent looking 2.5 too, though. So I mean, eye appeal makes a difference.
It doesn't seem that bad to me. I mean, I hate to say it. Like, if I had 10 grand laying around, I mean, I could do 10 grand and other things. But buying a Hulk 1 for 10 grand at a 2.5 doesn't seem that outrageous to me, I guess. Does it?
I mean, not that presents that well.
No, it looks really nice.
And Hulk 1, I think, for a lot of like smart guys, is the big book that they're like, oh, well, I'd like to get that Silver Age keep because of the CGC numbers and the relative scarcity of it.
It is for a Silver Age book is a tough book. It also kind of like we were talking the high and low end. This and AF-15, like sometimes AF-15 pulls so far away, and then other times Hulk it gets really close, and there's a game you're playing watching those numbers.
Yeah,
because that scarcity factor will kick in, and then the Spider-Man desire factor kicks in. It's interesting if you would graph it. So
yeah.
That still blows me away that is going for 10 grand. I mean,
it's rarer than all the other number ones.
It is.
Theoretically, yeah. I mean,
that 2.5? No, that's a good price.
No, I meant distribution wise. Like everybody talks about, like all the first appearances out there.
Oh no,
like,
yeah, I'm with you. But what shocks you that it's cheaper that it's expensive, Brian?
It just blows me away that a 2.5 copy of that is 10 grand. You know what I mean? Like that low. I'm not a golden age guy.
It's not golden age. Know that. Compared to AF-15.
Whatever, Silver Age guy. I'm not an old guy.
AF-15 is more than that, and there's a shit ton more of them.
Yeah, but that's fucking Spider-Man, bro.
This is Hulk. This is the one that's harder to get.
Like Spider-Man is like Marvel's Superman, right? Like if Spider-Man is like the top of the heap, like I don't know. I
get it. I'm just saying this one is so much harder to get copies of.
Yeah, that's it. And it's an awesome cover. And Hulk's having a revolution.
Hulk is the Hulk.
I mean, hell, he's the only guy that's sticking around from the OG Avengers, right? Cap's gone, Iron Man's gone. I mean, I guess Thor's still around, but
you can shoot him in space, dude. Shoot him in space.
Yeah, see the Journey to Mysteries popping too.
Yeah. All right. Another record. 8.0 Ghost Rider Marvel Spotlight 5, 2,100. Prior high was right around 2K.
Dude, these books, these first appearances of Ghost Rider, the Marvel Spotlights, like they go faster than I can find them. Yeah, McClay's and I are in the same book or the same boat. We both like desperately need a real nice copy, and it's crazy. Like Dino showed one to me. I'm like, "Are you gonna buy it? I'll buy it. Are you gonna buy it? I'll buy it." He's like, "It's already gone."
I mean, if you're gonna,
we would have bought it if you were up. I mean, not saying. I mean, you can't wait 18 hours on it, dude. It's gone.
Oh.
Especially
I will say, if you're gonna play the press and regrade game, or press and clean, or hope for a bump, this is a hell of a grade to do it in, because from 8 to 8.5, it's $1,000 to $1,500 jump. It's a big jump there. And really, the scarcity on the census is not that far apart. They're both, one's like 325 and one's 350 on the census, so it's not crazy different. No, 375, but that's not a crazy difference. I mean, as you get up higher in those grades, it just keeps eking up. But this 8 to 8.5 is a huge jump point for some reason.
I'm kicking myself in the ass for not stacking away some of these.
I sold mine.
It's only my own fault.
I sold mine before Charlotte, dude, and I kind of regret it a little bit. I mean, mine had resto on it, so I had to get it unrested. But I mean, besides
he
that,
should have called me. I talked Z off the ledge when he was trying to sell his. I'm like, I'll buy it if you do it. I'll take it. He's like,
I bought my Ghost Rider. I bought my Ghost Rider for $250, I think.
Wow. Oh yeah, you got the money buy of the century on yours, right?
Yeah.
You want to know? I paid for my 8.5. I bought my 8.5 raw for $350.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
This book is so beautiful, man. It's such a beautiful book. I love this book, and I just kick myself every day for not owning one.
I bet you, dude, if I'm being cheapo, El Cheapo, I'm stealing it from Nico, and I'm thinking, do I just buy one at 2,500 and then it's going to be 10 grand next year? And I'll be like, well, it was 10 grand. Why didn't you buy it at 25? You know what I'm saying? Do I take some stimulus money and be like, bam?
I don't think it'd be 10, but I don't doubt it might be 3.5 or 4.
Once they cast
And book just
Yano.
keep going.
Also, for the record, it's hard to find a copy of this in like halfway decent shape that's like reasonably priced.
There is no reason. Everybody is putting it higher and higher and higher because it keeps selling.
It's a cool book. I mean, it's getting to the point where I'm just like, I can live without a copy.
You know what? Maybe
maybe
next year I'll sell the red suit for a Ghost Rider Marvel Spotlight 5. Do a little trading action.
All right. So I showed you several that are up at their high. I'll show a few that are not. This one. Talk a lot about the other Star Wars Boba, but this one, the 68, is actually down a bit. It had a high at 2,100 just December 20th. There have been no sales until this one, and this one at auction went for 1,200. No difference, not newsstand, anything like that between these two sales. So that's a interesting jump. There were 5 sales over 1,400, so this one is way down. I don't know if it just happened and not hit the search parameters. People don't care. Maybe it's the first auction in a while, but it.
Mandalorian's done, right? I mean, Mandalorian's done from a TV. I mean, it's the season's over with the people.
Yeah, that's not going to help it, but that's a huge jump for TV just to be over. So,
the Star Wars market, one of the reasons I think a lot of people love it is that it's so volatile. I mean, like 1 week a Knights of the Old Republic 9 will sell for like 2 G's. The next week it'll sell for like $1,000. You know what I mean? It's just like a volatile market. I think people don't really know what the hell this stuff is actually worth yet. And a lot of the guys that are buying it, I think, are not, seasoned like comic book lunatics like us. They're Star Wars lunatics who are like, if I don't get it now, I'm not going to have it, and they may have like graded toys out the wazoo and just try to dip their feet into that with big money.
I guess I will say that I'll tread carefully on this subject. I think there's more money, big money in Star Wars people than comic book people. I don't want to like offend people, but it's like Star Wars people once talks insanity about money. It's like, dude, there's people who are just sitting there who have very wealthy jobs or come from Star Wars lore and just have like everything of everything, just ultimate fans.
I also think that the people that grew up in the original Star Wars are slightly older than us, even like that they're that another 8 to 10 years on us, and they're a little further in their money and family life maturity. So they've just got more disposable income for toys.
I agree.
Another book that I don't remember. I think Nico threw this on there, and it just shocks the shit out of me that it keeps going. Is this guy, the Fightin' 5, number 40, the first Peacemaker?
I gave my copies away. I was so pissed off.
I sold one after the news. I think it was probably more of a.
You did better than me. You remember what happened with mine? The guy didn't pay. I was so excited. And then my buddy who basically runs my IG page, my eBay page, the guy reached out to him and was like, yeah, actually, I'll take those after the pop. He fucking sent them to him.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But I mean, this thing, I thought it hit $300-400, and I was like, there'll be more coming out of the market because it's Charlton. I mean, they come out after people figure it out. I mean, they're in boxes somewhere. But this one doesn't seem to be either mature or people just aren't finding it. Maybe it's because the shops are closed. Maybe it's because people aren't paying attention.
For a Charlton, which, I know we kind of theorized that those would sort of spring to life when the traditional show dealers dug through their boxes after they realized that this was a thing. We haven't had cons for that to happen. Haven't had, a lot of brick and mortar activity for that to happen. Plus, it's James Gunn. I mean, I'm happy that it's not more, thankfully, at this point. Christ, I might have a shot of finding one. But there's a lot of smart people who are really excited about James Gunn doing Peacemaker, like Sleepy, for example, who doesn't get excited about much. He's just tired.
So I'll throw you some cornbread. Issue 41, which is a green cover with a reptile, actually sells pretty well. If you get a decent looking copy, it'll go $75, $100. So, if you're going through the bins and see this issue gone, grab the next one. The second appearance sells very well.
I mean, that's the other thing. How many people are digging through? I mean, are you digging through Charlton's? I'm not. I hate to say
I will, but I don't. I don't find them. Like, people don't even bring them to the show a lot of the time. And it's a Charlton war comic, not even a superhero.
Yeah.
I look all the time. The
Peacemaker 1 to 5 mini series, or the series that ran then, that'll sell for several $100 if it's in even mediocre shape. So grab those if you see them. The number 1 sells well. Just watch out, because that run has a modern reprint, which means instead of the Charlton logo, it's got a little logo that says modern. Those are not going to sell so well.
No, not good.
You'll get a few bucks, but
yeah,
if you buy out for $1, you might be able to flip it for 15, 20, but you're not going to get real money on it.
That's true.
That's true.
I do not have a butler.
Yeah, you do. I've seen them. I've been to your house.
X-Men Annual 14. Interesting thing on this one, newsstand. This one is a book that I was kind of looking at, and I'm like, wow, the newsstand premium is very high. Standard ones sell for $200, maybe $225, even as low as $180. Newsstand seemed to pop at that $400 plus number, and this is a huge outlier even there, pushing $500. There are over 700 copies of this book in 9.8. I have no idea how many are newsstand, because, well, they don't tell us.
Wow.
I've seen this book pop up on a lot of Facebook pages or IG posts, or people talking about this book a lot lately.
Look, I like that storyline with an adult Franklin Richards. It was like cool when I was a kid. Love Rachel Summers. I'm sorry. I got Madeline Pryor on the brain. But anyway, damn, I didn't expect that kind of number for that book. That's cool, dude. Thanks for that one.
This was yours, and I didn't get what I expected out of this one either as I started. I was just assuming it was a old label CGC. For those of you young bucks that haven't been in the game that long, if you look at the label, it doesn't look like the traditional one. It's actually several generations old. This was the first year or two had this label, and a lot of people buy them to press and regrade, because pressing just wasn't as prevalent then. So they usually get a premium. But as I was digging into it, Conan 1, 8.5 to 9.4 are really trending up the last 60 to 90 days, like 20, 30%. So it might be a book, if you kind of get to a shop and find a high grade, you might be able to buy and make some profit on, even just quick flip.
The last con I was at.
9.6s, 9.8s are pretty much flat for some reason, though.
Yeah, the last con I was at in Ohio, and look, those are sophisticated buyers. I shouldn't call it a convention. It wasn't like buy your fucking beef jerky and get knocked over by somebody dressed in a cat suit who belongs at a fucking furry convention. Like, it's I joke that it's like the 50 best diggers get together for a swap meet in southeastern Ohio. I mean, it's crazy, the people that are at these things. But there was a concerted group of buyers walking around table to table who were like, Conan books. And I haven't seen that kind of excitement from the YouTube Talking Head community. Sure, there was the Netflix deal. That's what I think inspired these folks to go out and find those books. But it's an interesting thing for me. I mean, there's so much of that magazine size stuff that's just been ignored by everybody.
Savage Sale stuff. Tony back in the day was watching a bunch of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain issues, obviously, that command some premium, but you just see them, and people have just left them in shops and not cared about them forever. And then there's, of course, the Red Sonja books, but it's interesting to me. It's piqued my curiosity. I don't know what a Netflix show can do necessarily for these books, but it's going to do something.
If you really want to get down the rabbit hole, you got to go to Mexico to buy the true first Conan comics. I mean, they're from.
I like the pulp too, man. The pulp's a whole different thing, but you can't find a copy to buy unless you buy one of the ones on eBay.
Yeah, crazy money. All right, next book's another one that I just like to check in on every once in a while. I saw a sale. This Marvel 1000 D23 variant. This guy was going nuclear, and I honestly wasn't sure it was going to come back down. I think the sheer quantity of 9/8 is finally pushing that price down. It had a high of 1,300, I think, around October. There are now 438 9/8 and 999s. So I think there's just a lot of volume right now. I don't think a ton of them are coming out of collections. I think a lot of people bought this because they love either the mouse or they love the fact that it's Marvel in the mouse. But maybe we're approaching a time to think about buying back in sometime soon. I mean, if it hit anywhere near 5, I'd probably jump on it.
I wonder if this was a weird ended one, like a weird time, because I saw one sell on maybe it was Facebook or another platform. It was like 1,000. Somebody sold one for 1,000. So
it's one that's up and down. This was the lowest sale I've seen in quite a few months.
Yeah.
Next one for all you video gamers and retro folks, this DuckTales one. This is a best offer. I can't track what the sale was. I don't think it was 2,000. I assume it was a significant number if that was a starting bid. Limited to 500 from the 2011 SDCC. It's been a variant that a lot of people want. Doesn't pop up a ton. Cool ass book.
And it's signed by Warren Spector, which is not on the cover.
All of them?
What?
No, I don't think all of them are.
A lot of them
mine
are.
is signed.
And
Mine
for
is signed.
I can't figure out the answer. I don't know if there's something with CGC. I thought there was at one point. There are not a lot graded. I feel like there's some reason they don't grade them.
Here you go.
That's my buddy.
Just pulls one out of the hat. Huh?
Yeah, that's a great book. I wish I'd bought it years ago.
Well, the problem is that when I sent it in to get graded, when CBCS first started, they sent it back to me like nothing. Like I don't know if they thought it was fake or real or
CGC doesn't seem to be grading them either, and I can't remember the story. There used to be a story.
CGC won't grade them either.
I don't think so.
I've seen green labels.
There's some. I don't remember why there's a problem. Matt DeVoe told me once, and I tried to ask him again today, and he couldn't remember what the hell it was.
It's fascinating.
Well, for those of you guys that don't know who Warren Spector is the guy from Atari that created the game cartridge. So, part of the history. And I believe they asked him to help write this because they were going to do the video game homage. So there's something to do with that. But really cool book. Shout out to the old school Unpressable Defects crew and Koi Cakes because Koi is the one that put me onto this book first. Back in the day.
Matt DeVoe was on it before that.
Well, it was probably from Matt, you know what I mean? And Coy talked about it on Impressible, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all for 17.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know where you track that anymore. It
There
feels
we
like
go.
the
Thank
data
you,
is moving. Every time you find a site that'll report it, you can't find it again or it's down. There's a book you never freaking see. Knights of the Dinner Table 1. This is CGC 9.6.
I can't even believe you found, I can't believe one sold.
Yes, there are just only 9.6 sale on GPA. There was a 9.2 and a 9.4 in the last 2 years. Both were right around 550. There's 34 in the census, 198, 2 9.6s, 4 9.4s, print run of 3,000. The 9.8 is on MCS as a consignment listed at $5,000. Seems a tad high, but who knows? You're not the only one. Big book for kind of gamers. It was a strip in a gaming magazine, like table gaming, Dungeons and Dragon, that kind of stuff, and then it kind of evolved into the comic with stories from the strip and some other stuff from there. So it kind of has a big following there, and it's kind of one of those kind of cult books. So cool book. Yeah. Never see it in high grade. It's not one I personally chase, but I don't think it's a bad investment.
Only a 198.
Yeah,
I saw Jesse James pull one of these out of a box that people had looked through probably for months, and just in a shop.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, nobody looks for it. They don't. Think
nobody
it.
knows about this book or looks for it. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of it. I've never seen a #1 anywhere.
Neither have I. I've seen a picture of one.
Yeah.
Once when I looked it up, like, what the hell is this thing that I see all the time? Why is it? You know what I mean? Stick around long enough and you answer that what is Knights of the Dinner Table question. You know what I mean? But I've definitely never seen one sell. Hell, I don't think I've ever looked for it on eBay either. Pretty neat.
It just truly just hit my price parameter that I noticed it, and I was like, oh.
I didn't. Real quick, Funko Fix brings up a point. He asked, "Did you guys see the Iron Maiden variant? And do you guys think all other variants in this Nintendo wave will gain value?" I haven't seen the Iron Maiden variant, but I will check it out.
Steve Horn said this. Hold on one second. I don't think it was ever released.
Okay. Because if it has been, I definitely want to check it out. Any of those Nintendo homages, even the 8-bit homages, are great. I mean, I love them.
Except the Cosmo one from a few years ago. That one was terrible. That was
which one?
The Cosmo.
Well, the reason why that was dog shit is because they sent them unbagged, unboarded, and I ordered probably 20 of them thinking like this is going to be a great thing. They all came just trashed. And you couldn't get a hold of them.
It's still just not worth a damn thing.
Oh, I was so pissed, man.
I have bullshit. Oh, well. Here's another weird one that I found. They called him Evil. Evil the cat from Earthworm Jim. This predates Earthworm Jim. Early comic by Doug Temple. I think it's only 8 pages if I did my research right. This one sold for $200. I think the app actually reported this too, but I hadn't stumbled upon it until I saw this one. It's more the cover stuck out and I went, whoa, what the hell is that? So another one to kind of look for that you'd never think to look for. And I had to throw this one in here.
Banger.
I truly don't know if this sold. The seller is a bit of a notorious crazy person. And had this listed for like $4,000 forever, put it at auction. I was the underbidder at $641 and change. So I think probably it didn't sell because he put some crazy number on it. 640 something is what I thought it's worth, but what do I know? There's only a couple signed ones, and I don't know if they're signed by McFarlane or Stan or both, but there's not many. Could be one of just a handful signed by Stan. So a really cool book, but I'm not going to chase it any higher than that number.
I feel like the Stan signature kind of ruins that book.
It's not a great one. It's more of just it's the only one or two there. Like, when I'm saying one or two, I mean if there's more than 3, I
would have done it in silver or gold on the black. Would have been dope.
I agree. It's not a great sig.
Yeah.
It's not his worst sig. But
this next book that you're getting ready to show is one of my favorite McFarlane covers.
I wasn't shocked how high it sold, but honestly, it's not that crazy a price. That it's been trending near that number. There are surprisingly 53 and 9.8, but I mean, there's a shit ton of Marvel Age out there. There's only 100 graded, so people that are grading them are only grading 9.8s. It's a Spider-Man 1 preview with a really dope-ass McFarlane cover.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of copies of this. I've had a lot of copies of this. I ain't got any 9.8s.
Yeah.
Nice.
9.8 signed. Boom.
Woo.
Damn, nice.
Beautiful. And I love how he signs these when he puts the blue color on them. Anyways, this is how much I love this book. Definitely put my money where my mouth is on this one. This is a great book.
I think if you're a Spider-Man McFarlane guy, this is one you got to have on your list.
Dude, with the Venom 300, or I'm sorry, ASM 300, like exploding in price. The Coyote first McFarlane going crazy in price. People are going to start buying these ASM, and I think more so the other McFarlane Spideys. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, the Marvel Classic.
For example, it was Marvel Tale, or was it? It's Marvel Tales or.
Marvel, yeah, one of them.
But they've got classic X-Men looking covers.
Yep.
Yeah,
he does a couple of X-Men. There's one with Spider-Man and Storm,
but I think those are on Marvel Tales.
Yeah, they're Marvel Tales.
Yeah, I freaking love those books, dude.
Yeah.
and people have different opinions about this, but that's some of my favorite looking X-Men ever. Like, I like the way McFarlane draws the characters' design, better than almost anybody. Sorry to derail us.
No, that's fine.
I just love the fact that Marvel Age have become collectible in the last 10 years, right? Like, these were the type of book that you just never, I didn't even know about these books for the longest time until they started being a little bit more collectible. And finding this book in decent grade, because these were just either given away or, right? Back in the day, they were just given away.
Yeah. Well, in the advent of like a first appearance on the page of a comic as opposed to like cameo or full appearance as sort of like a thing, the preview phenomenon, I think has helped cause like, the first Darkhawk in Marvel Age to go gaga, and for people to go back and look for those sorts of things.
Well, it's kind of
later printings have helped books like that Classic X, or I keep calling them Classic X-Men because there's Classic X-Men books that are cool too. That Marvel Tales X-Men stuff go.
It also has the Jim Lee interview in it, which is kind of cool.
Hell yeah. I'm like you though. I just like reading this stuff. For reading material, I love
history of comics.
It's fascinating to me.
All right. Did a couple in the Golden Age just to round us out. I didn't go crazy this week. There was a couple cool things. These are the ones that I really dug, and I think you sent me one of them. But this Ghost 1, Ghost 2 gets a lot of the love, but this one's a gorgeous cover too. I mean, just all the vivid colors of the orange and the red dress, the green demon. It hits my color palette of happiness there. I don't know.
It's a beautiful copy too. I think that crunched corner will probably press out.
Yeah, it went way under what I think it probably should have. I wasn't watching this particular book. I don't do a good job watching the Golden Age auctions because I can only afford one, and then I'll be sad the next thing I miss. So I just don't do a good job of watching. But a 5.0 sold for $1,800. I think, and that was in December. I think this guy's probably in the 4, maybe on a good day might hit a 5. I think there's a small piece missing that might limit it, but I mean, for less than half of a 5.0, if you can get a 4 out of that bad boy, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah, I didn't take a close look at the pages. I just looked at the front cover, but my God, does it present well.
Exactly. You're going to have the prettiest freaking 4 or whatever it is out there.
Which really matters to people,
Absolutely. This one, another favorite.
Jorge Lopez is the truth.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you all.
I love
Thank you.
The IG Maniacs, man. You guys know who you are. Really appreciate everything you do for the comic community on Instagram. It means a lot to those of us who are on there, on our bathroom breaks and, when we're annoying people when we should be paying attention to them. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Darth Lopez has had some killer books he posted recently too.
Well, he broke some records on some recent sales, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, 2 more. 2 Bernard Baileys. First one, the infamous Weird Mystery 5, the Monkey Brain.
Finally sold.
One
goes up there.
One freaking picture. That's it. And it listed as media mail.
And was making everybody go crazy. Every person I know was like, "Did you see the Weird Mysteries? What do you think?"
He calls it a good, very good. It's in Indiana, the seller is, and I kept reading. I'm like, you're selling a $2,000 book and you're advertising media mail. Really?
You should have gone and met him.
I didn't even see it. I assume I do know him. I just didn't know this account. But yeah, it's crazy to me that you're putting it media mail. But it's a pretty front cover. I don't know what the rest of the book looks like. But if you're going to get a high-end cover, it is a little high on the price. There are only 58 in the census. 8.0 is the nicest one. Honestly, it's not that high. A 3.0 sold for $4K in July. I mean, you do risk resto. You risk, it being a turd on the back.
Dude, can I get a picture of the freaking inside cover, the centerfold?
Yes.
My God.
$2,000, you can take a couple extra pics.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've rolled the dice for a grand like a psycho and gotten lucky twice. I'm scared to even begin to think about pressing my luck again.
Yeah, I mean, I've
but-
taken beatings. I took a beating today on one, not nearly that kind of dollars, but I'm still happy that I bought it. But still, another Bernard Bailey famous one, Mr. Mystery 12, the Needle to the Eye.
What the hell's up with this book? It presents so well.
Oh yeah, beautiful copy. What surprised me is this book is moving into the top. I mean, it's always been a popular book, but it's moving into the top echelon of the gold or the pre-code horror. I mean, it's at basically a grand a point, which is hitting rare air.
Yeah, another 1.8.
I mean, honestly, like Chamber of Chills is not a ton over. Maybe it's a point and a half. Or
Yeah, there's like Mask 1, Mask 2. I mean, you can count them on one hand.
This guy is heading into that top 10 or 15 books.
I think it's because it was always like considered one of the classic Grail PCH books, and a lot of the money in PCH is new money, and I think people are just kind of figuring it out. That might be an interesting thing to sort of think about if you're playing in that market, or you're newer to that market, or you're an older guy in that market who's a little pissed off about what things are selling for, or what things aren't selling for. I think that market is getting smarter and more traditional.
Yeah, it's funny. This one just doesn't do it for me. It's not my cup of tea.
I've never been an eye guy. There's a couple other eye covers that are super duper popular, but there's that like subgenre of like eye people.
Yeah. Maybe it's all optometrist.
That would be funny. It'd be funny. Yeah, see, DS doesn't like it either, and he's got to go to for that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, nice to see you, DS. Appreciate you here, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me this week.
Very nice, man.
Good stuff, dude. Z, always killing it, man.
Try and give you a few gems and just a little bit of knowledge. So
you give us all gems and a lot of knowledge, and we appreciate it.
I've got something kind of interesting that kind of goes along with Market Report, but it moves into our next topic a little bit. And shout out to Jesse James, who we brought up earlier. He sent me this, and he said, "I can't believe I sold it for this." He sold his own little preview, right? They're selling. So at least this one, we know the sale was for real, and it did happen. He said it did sell for $100, and he got paid for it and everything. So,
well, here's the thing: like, if you're friends with retail shop owners, brick and mortar guys, they're all kind of hip to this now, and it's been like its own little stimulus package for them, right?
Yeah.
Like, a couple of my guys are all excited because they're like, I dug out that Marvel Previews 95. It's got pen in it. I'm going to sell it for $400. And I'm just like, holy shit, who would pay $400? But people do. They probably laugh at what I spend money on. And I think, if for no other reason, then it's helping those guys and helping people that actually fill out the previews catalog that for whatever reason keep them. Cool.
Yeah. And this kind of is a segue here is that he was in the New York Times with his partner, Jen King from Space Cadet Comics, talking, and we've talked about the third market a lot on the show. We had Jesse on a couple, weeks ago during our 2021 episode or 2020 year in review episode. Anthony was on the Modern Comic Mayhem show from Bird City Comics the other day talking about the third market. The third market is such a big deal for us, especially for flippers. And basically this is about them, trying to make that third market bigger. And they've went into a partnership with the owner of Dynamite Comics, Nick Barucci, our chief executive and publisher of Dynamite Entertainment, Nick Barucci, and of course Jen King, who owns Space Cadets Collection in Oak Ridge, North Texas, and Jesse James here in Phoenix. And they're going to be bringing more third market goodness to the fans and try to have like a 24/7 network. So if you guys get a chance, go check it out. It's pretty interesting. Whenever we hear more about these, markets being created, especially in the time we're in, right? It's a good thing. And the type of money that, the third market's bringing into our hobby is crazy right now. So it was just really interesting to see, finally start seeing some stuff. He's even the Hollywood Reporter. That was crazy, right? Hollywood Reporter has a comic thing. So, I don't know. I like it. Basically, it sounds like it's just a newer, a bigger thing than what they've got going on now with their comic book shopping network. I think they're calling it the comic book shopping experience. So they're just going to be able to get that out to more people and give more, hopefully, retailers and sellers a place in the third market and some more comic book entertainment to the world. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on with that. But shout out to all the people that are out there in the third market trying to make things work, because it's super important right now. Super important.
And
we all hate eBay.
Honesty in comics.
We all
Say
hate
that
eBay.
again?
So
I just said, please hashtag honesty in comics on your stuff. Let's claim it as our own hashtag.
yes.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, again, we all hate eBay. There's all these fees. There's, we're just trying to find different ways to not keep paying eBay's coffers. you
Yeah.
know?
Bro.
If somebody can come up with a successful method, more power to them.
Yeah, but I've talked to like people who were attempting to play in that like market, like an off eBay sort of comic forum that wasn't Comic Link, Comic Connect, or Heritage, and for them it was kind of like the hodgepodge of state laws pass just screwed them up. Zatari, for example, expressed that to me, and I think that guy is one of the smartest people in comics. And he tried it for a little bit and was like, meh. I don't know if he'll make another run at it. I hope he does. I hope people do. But like every month or so, I don't know if you guys have the same experience. Somebody comes to me and they're like, let's do this. And I'm like, no, thank you. You can do that on your own. I'll support you, but not trying.
Well, and if you're going to do the third market and, do the YouTube or the Instagram or the whatever, you got to hustle, man. It's not an easy gig. You got to have a personality. You got to have a following. You got to work. It's not just, I'm going to start a feed on Facebook or whatever it is and sell books, man. You got to build a brand.
Do you buy a lot of comics on Instagram, guys?
If I see a good deal, I do.
Occasionally.
Brian?
I did earlier, probably around this, about a year ago. I haven't been buying a lot from Instagram lately, though.
Okay. How many issues? How many total purchases do you think I've made ever?
0.
Yeah, not even once. But people make it work, dude. They make it work. They have thriving sales threads. Every day, Dino's like, check this shit out. It's awesome. Or, one of my friends hits me with like some amazing book that's substantially under what you can pay for it on eBay.
Dude, I see so much.
It's not on eBay at all.
I see a bunch of shit. Like, I think I sent Nico probably 90% of picks of comics off of eBay. I'm not even looking on eBay.
And I lied. I bought, I think, one book off of Instagram once, but it was like a scenario where I couldn't find it anywhere else, and was just breaking down and asking the best like PCH collectors, period, because they show their books off on IG. And one of them was kind enough to be like, no, but I'll sell you this copy. It's my under copy. And I'm forever grateful to that person. So it's neat. I think it's moving in the right direction, and it's something I'm certainly interested in, and something I admire the people who do it well for doing.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people. Sorry, Z. I've seen a lot of people posting lately on Instagram, selling multiple graded books, at a pop. So I think shout out to Vika, friend of the show, Drunken Chat friend of the show. He had a post the other day where he had like 6 of the same book that he just got back graded, and now he sold like 4 of them. Now he's got 2 left, and I think they were all sold on IG. So if you can sell on IG and you can figure out the hashtags to use and the best way to do it, and you know what, that might be something to look into in the future. Maybe if there's some people out there that are really good at selling on IG, it would be good to kind of pick their brain and bring them on the show and figure out some of the, maybe have a roundtable discussion about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a Tales from the Flipside IG page you can buy from us lunatics.
Maybe.
Well, that's the thing. You got to build enough following that people see it,
Yeah.
Really do. And then you've got to get, some people that vouch for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody's skeptical.
I used to own
If there's a deal too good to be true, it probably is.
I used to own a comic book company that was on eBay. It has like 3,000 feedback. Does that count?
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
anymore.
well, and for the
Not
record,
anymore. That's the second market, bro.
Well, that's brutal.
yeah, and for the record, I buy from people, right, that I trust when it's huge dollar books. So, like, it would be a lot easier for me to buy a book from DS that I saw on Instagram. Right?
Yeah, we'll hit you up,
Then-
DS.
You know what I mean? Then just some random person who I don't know that has 6 photos.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I might try to wade into it.
Well, I think it's easier to find people who've bought books off of things, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you claim it in the comments. You're like, oh, I can talk to that dude and see how that experience was, instead of, you like other places, it's harder to do that, obviously. So
It's interesting. Yeah, good stuff, man. I like it.
This is kind of, I don't know if it's a downer or what, but it's something that I thought was kind of interesting that I saw. Did you guys see this Jason Fabic tweet? Did you guys hear about this at all?
No.
Maybe no.
No.
So Jay Fabic is a big DC artist. He his work. He did 3 Jokers. Gorgeous work on 3 Jokers. He does a lot with Jeff Johns. Well, they were supposed to do a 3 Jokers sequel, right? And he posted this recent thing saying, this is his first project of 2021, and how 3 Jokers freed him from the grind, and now he can fully focus on quality and drawing that I want. And he showed this picture of this bird, and people are like, well, what the hell is going on here? That's not 3 Jokers. You're supposed to be writing 3 Jokers. And so there was this article, and it talked about one of the things that he said is, he said a lot of the previous stuff, a lot of the stuff previous to that were rush jobs and forced work by DC. He was talking about 3 Jokers, which I hated. Now I can do what I want with my time, and I can focus on the books I actually want to draw and have a say in. And they asked him if he was going to be crowdfunded, and he said, not now, but maybe in the future sometime. I don't want to have the desire to do a crowdfunder. Basically, talked about that. But he said this, but DC is so poorly run, it took 6 months to get back to us on our pitch, basically about 3 Jokers, the sequel. So I took work elsewhere. Then he said, I've worked at DC for 10 years, and a majority of that was when the company was run like a well-oiled machine with leadership that I loved, and that loved its creators and trusted them. Let me say that again. A well-oiled machine that leadership loved its creators and trusted them. It wasn't perfect, but there was sense of trust and willingness to listen to ideas. When I say the company is run poorly, it's because I've seen it run well for years. I love DC with a passion. I want it to succeed, but right now I don't think it's being run well. And it's okay to say that. Many people working there are saying the same. For starters, they fired almost everyone I ever worked for at the company. Many of which were passionate about books and didn't deserve to go. It's okay to be truthful and call things out. I'm not an employee. I'm not blinded to the fact that ownership can make bad decisions. I had to make a choice and work with someone who wanted my services, and that's okay. When the time comes, I'll go back and produce more for DC and give them my all. Jeff and I have many stories already brewing, but things are going to change big time in comics, and you got to make moves for your future. Crazy.
Should they just call us so we can just run DC and be done with it? I mean, because I do it, man. I ran Death Row. I could run DC.
Flipside CEO, baby.
Let's go right here. See, it's a legit.
Think about that. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely bonkers. And we've all been saying it for a while. Like, what is going on over there? You hear about stories about, like former interns that are basically running the company now because they can't. They AT&T won't pay anybody or wouldn't pay anybody, and if you guys, I don't know about you guys, have you been reading Future State or looking at the Future State stuff?
I bought some Future State spec today, actually.
It's really not. There's a couple of things that are good. I think that are decent, but the majority of it isn't good, man. And I think that we're seeing why.
Yeah,
this is scary. DC, like. I know we joked about it in the past, like, is DC going under? Is Marvel going to buy DC? But that type of stuff is really hard to read if you're a comics fan.
Yeah, I think, and the problem with DC is like, say we were got like let's bring the dream scenario around. Say we got approached to it, like even if we made DC the best comic book, say it was Marvel, because we don't have Disney money obviously, but say it's Marvel and then DC's second, but like a great second, not just that it's a New England Patriots and the I guess you can say the Detroit Lions now because they're terrible. But it's like that's not going to bring back DC books that were printed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like DC books are going to jump in value overnight. It's just you're in a rock and a hard spot with Nico. What do you think? 10 years of dead spec that nobody wants to buy. I mean,
not even that bad stories. Like they have great characters.
Well, okay, but I mean, amen, right? Like, amen to that. They got bad fucking TV and bad movies too, but Marvel's got pretty shitty comics. I mean, there's some outliers. Some outliers, right? That are cool, but by and large, I'm like, meh for a lot of it. And it's not all written for me, right? Like, so there's that too. I mean, there's different age groups.
But Marvel gets propped up by the movie side of it.
Unquestionably,
I mean, they can make a bad story into a great story via the screen, and have a shitty character and make him into the best character on the planet via screen.
But, when it was good, it was the greatest, right? Like when Capullo is drawing Batman and Scott Snyder's penning the scripts.
Grant Morrison's writing
Lights Out, for example. So it always, for me, really comes back to an investment in the creators. I don't know. Look, I imagine that our buddy here is probably 100 times better artist than he is orator. I love Fabic's work, right? Like I think his pencils are second to none. And, I'm not necessarily sure about the nuts and bolts of his critique of what's going on there on the inside, but certainly the sentiment that I, as a creator, felt like, I didn't have a voice, they were pushing me around, is not a good sentiment. I mean, if somebody was like that here on the channel as a very small sort of like organization, we'd be like, Jesus. I mean, it would never happen, right? So, we're far from a well-oiled machine. And when you run a business for profit and you have those kind of sentiments from people who are real talents, and you've got people like Jeff Johns and Scott Snyder heading for the hill looking for cover, I think people are rightfully concerned. I hope something changes, and I hope it changes quick.
Well, it sounds like Jeff Johns and Fabic both have a couple projects together that were supposed to be at DC that are now going to be taking place at Image, which is even crazier to hear. Especially, that wouldn't surprise me if it was lesser names, right? But when you hear Jeff Johns and
I mean, dude, come on now, McFarlane, Lee, Silvestri, Portacio, they all took off. I get it that these are DC faithful, right? That when you think
not even DC faithful, it's
Jeff Johns, sure.
No, I'm just saying good creators. Like when these stories and the storylines and the characters that are being created on DC aren't that good in the last 10 years.
Well, I mean, but if you were creating something, wouldn't you go to Marvel? I think they give Cates a better deal for his creations. And I think, the lesson of losing Liefeld, all these people is we give people some level of ownership interest. And, the truth is that comics are inextricably linked to these other media projects. When, there's just, that's the end game, right? Is like some sort of development deal for television or film. And, DC's not doing a good job there either. So AT&T is going to have to get its house in order. I hope they do it sooner than later. I'm excited for Batman, but I'm not real excited for much else. Just because, I've seen what's going on with Batman. I like Matt Reeves. we'll see how this goes. I hope they don't screw up Green Lantern. I have a lot of friends that really are desperate for the Green Lantern project that they've wanted since they were a kid, and they've gotten it with their Marvel heroes.
Well, the crazier part is, and I hate to say it, and I guess I don't know how much. I mean, I understand he's chief creative officer, Jim Lee, but it's like, dude, like Jim Lee's like right. Jim Lee's the man, right? I mean, right?
Best guy in comics, yeah.
And it's like, dude, maybe he doesn't have enough input. Maybe he's drawn in too many different directions. You know, he can't do it. You know, obviously, when you're that high level, you can't work on everything or see everything. I mean,
I'm going to make a crazy statement. And this is going to sound crazy, but I felt like it all fell to shit once DiDio was gone.
Mm-hmm.
When DiDio was there, you might have not liked DiDio when he got up in front of people and, you know, talked and stuff, but when he was there, DC was kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's that controversial. I think smart people, a lot of smart people have said that to me privately. You know, and the truth is, like, what the hell? I don't have any sort of insight as to like how this corporation runs, but we all know from our own jobs and our own life experience that sometimes people are not fun to go to lunch with, but they run a hell of a fucking business.
Yep.
I mean, look at, for example, Mr. Apple himself, the late great Steve Jobs. He's kind of a tyrant from all accounts, but nobody would suggest that he's not dead on when it comes to how to run a business.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to see.
You're awful quiet. What do you think, buddy?
I don't have an opinion. I mean, I think they're just. It's a company that's kind of in a mess. We'll see what they do. Can they pull it out? I don't know. They need to get some stories. They need to get their shit together. Have a purpose.
Pay some people, for crying out loud.
I don't feel like they've had a purpose since New 52. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
They're throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see. Future State it's interesting to say the least. What's going on with that? I was blown away that the best books to come out of there, two of them that everybody's talking about, is Harley, which I never would have thought, you know, that Harley would have been one of those books, and Swamp Thing. You know, Swamp Thing's one of my favorite all-time characters, and I love it, but I never would have thought a lot of people say that Swamp Thing was the best book out of them all. So I like to hear that, and I would love, and I know Swamp Thing is supposed to carry Swamp Thing into a new, series or ongoing. I wish that we could get some really good Swamp Thing tales again, and maybe DC can kind of go on that dark magic route. You know, they're trying to push the Dark Justice League and all that stuff, and I don't know, maybe start bringing back some of those really good Vertigo writers and stuff if you can, man. That's, to be honest, one of the biggest problems with DC being where it is right now is because growing up, DC was like, I remember I was a Marvel fan until I became a teenager. And when I hit junior high and high school, it was like all Vertigo, right? Vertigo, DC, Batman, Green Lantern. That was my favorite shit for such a long period of time. And to not have it be there anymore, it really sucks. It would be nice to have some of that to go back to and check out, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. What else is going on out there, gentlemen? Anything else interesting? Greg Capullo's coming back with Creech.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's matter of fact, here I'll bring up. I
bought several of those a couple years ago because that was a rumor, and it's finally happening.
Yeah.
It's a weird little story.
It is, but it's like his favorite thing, right? Here we go. Capullo shares a glimpse of Creech. This is so funny. I used to, every time I would go to a con and I would see Greg Capullo, that's one of the things I asked, when are we going to get Creech? When are we going to get Creech? And he always go, you'll get it. You'll get it. Just wait. And here it is. So Greg Capullo shared a sneak peek at the script for the final chapter of Image comic titles The Creech, which has been in hibernation since 2001. So not bad. That's cool. Yeah, pretty damn
That's
cool.
a book you could find in dollar bin still.
Yeah, but I don't know. I love it, and I don't know who he's working with. Let's see here if it says who he's working with. In 1998, the Creature appeared as part of Todd McFarlane's line of Spawn action figures. Oh yeah. So, anyways, there we go. So, all you Greg Capullo fans and Creech fans, now that he's not doing metal anymore, he's going to be putting out some old cool stuff. So maybe we'll see some Creech jump on the old Creech stuff like we saw with Cyberfrog or some of those self-created titles.
Buy all the Creech stuff right now. Do it for $1.
Yeah.
Hey, at $1, I'd gamble on that. If you can go find them in some bins, I have a small stack of maybe 5 or 6 floating around, and there's a variant of some kind, isn't there?
That's a good question.
There's something I can't remember. I know there's 2 covers. One's a something.
Did any of you guys catch any of the Marvel Legends show that they did? Did you guys catch it or catch any of the reviews?
No, I mean it feels like it's a promo to build excitement for the show. It's kind of like your when you see last week's kind of episode. I feel like that's what it is of the movies to get you into WandaVision, and I'm like, I don't need that. I've seen them all. I'm cool.
Well, I didn't watch it either because that's what they build it as, just like a refresher course for everybody for what's coming. But when you look at the reviews, some of the reviews were really bad. People calling it like this is a glorified YouTube video, and I mean it was just really either the editing or they said it was like following around people with a fan cam, and it wasn't good.
Well, it was sort of the same thing with the like behind the scenes stuff, the extra episode of The Mandalorian, right? Like it gets billed like it's this extra thing, and then I can't even find it on the app, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it was sort of the same thing with Marvel Legends. I was just like, I'll just wait. But for the record, the reviews for WandaVision, on the other hand, have been stellar.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen one negative review. People are calling it like this, revolutionary sort of out of the box take on this superhero genre. And I don't know if that's just lip service because, hey, I'd like to watch this stuff early too. But it should be fun, man. We're going to get 2 episodes here Thursday at 3 a.m., Friday morning, 3 a.m. On the East Coast, midnight on the West Coast. And I think everybody's pumped. Any sort of stuff that you guys anticipate for that series on the top of your head?
I think we've already kind of gotten most into it, the No More Mutants thing. I think that's, the big part. What's the witch's name?
Which we might not even get it, Agatha Harkness, but we might not even get
my
No More
copy
Mutants here.
My copy that I had up for a while sold yesterday or day before. I mean, it was a 5-ish, and it got $75 for it. I'm like, all right, enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't want to gamble at that price. I'll be happy to get rid of it.
Yeah. Another thing is we've got notification that they already okayed a series season 2 of Loki, which is interesting, right? So that's another one.
Yeah, so I think any iteration of Loki in comics at this point is like a win, right? Because female Loki, kid Loki, President Loki, whatever, they seem to be like the adversaries for what we're going to have in season 1 and 2. Like, the Loki from that timeline, mildly redeemable character. We saw, his arc in the mainline MCU continuity, is thereafter forced to go and contain these other versions of himself from other timelines. And I think people just love it. The guy who was the writer of the script and the showrunner was thereafter anointed as the person who was going to do the script for Feige's Star Wars film, which is pretty strong. I mean, it's a strong endorsement from the commander-in-chief. So I'm excited.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Deadpool 3 confirmed to be rated R, as Robert Haven talks about.
Yeah, but I don't understand why everybody's acting like this is new news. That's old news. It was confirmed like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. I thought the only new bit, they're all talking about that Feige interview that they did where he's talking about something that was already confirmed by other mainstream outlets as a result of stuff that was being said earlier in time. So I don't necessarily know what the big deal is there with that. What I think is interesting is, what's that movie going to be about? Yeah. And we talked a little bit about that on the spec list Dino and I did. What I
That'll
think
be out later this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of like a preview for that. We'll let you know what we think.
Make sure you guys hit that like button. I see 133 live viewers right now. We appreciate every single one of you. If you will hit the like button, it really helps. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell, because that'll let you know anytime a show drops on this channel. We've got a lot of amazing content coming out on a regular basis now. And you guys don't want to miss any of these shows. Make sure you guys check out Comic Book Women, Modern Comic Mayhem, Global Comic Safari, Tales from the Dark Side. All these shows you're going to want to watch as soon as they hit. So hit that bell. And make sure you're subscribed to Tales from the Flipside channel. Also, make sure you guys tag us on Instagram, hashtag Honesty in Comics 2021. Let's take that over. All right, let's get back into some of the other craziness. She-Hulk. She-Hulk is getting a little bit more and more information, I guess, from the Kevin Feige interview too. Also, Kevin Feige talked a little bit about the Secret Invasion stuff, and they kind of asked him, "Oh, is this going to be, a lot of characters, or are we going to see like the comic?" And he basically's like, "No." He's like, there was more characters in Secret Invasion comic than there were in Endgame. Like it can't happen.
Yeah, that's a massive story.
Yeah. So don't be expecting it, but if you have that series, I would like to know, if people are selling it. I haven't looked at it lately to see if it's selling or not. But with him talking specifically about, what the tale is supposed to be like, and it seems more like a buddy cop picture than anything, right? Between Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury and the Talos character. Is that how you say it? Talos?
Yeah. So again, I think it's remember when we heard the news that Nick Fury was going to get his own TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds like that's what this is.
Yep.
And I don't know, my gut is they'll pick a couple characters to really spotlight there, and I think that'll be neat. We'll see how it all shakes out, but I'll be interested more in the spec that comes for who's going to be in that show that they want to develop, that they can't figure out how to develop otherwise, than I am necessarily about the Secret Invasion angle of it.
Yeah, because Secret Invasion was pretty heavily printed too, so.
Well, and Spider-Woman, being the key sort of like character plot device, I don't know that necessarily works.
No.
It depends. There's rumors that they're casting for her, right? And
yeah, but that's in the Sony verse, not in the Marvel.
Okay, there you go.
But there you go. Yeah, and so right, what Z said, but then what you said earlier too, like, I don't know. It seems like they're playing together okay on Spider-Man. So there's so much uncertainty with this live action stuff that it's all kind of interesting to me. Like my initial gut is like, oh, they can't do that. And then like the more I think about it, I'm like, well, maybe. And but that kind of uncertainty keeps me from buying things and just keeps me excited.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to good content. And I think that
amen.
Most of the stuff that Marvel has done, and don't get me wrong, I know there's some stuff out there that's bad, but most of the stuff that they have done and Kevin Feige has been a part of have been hits, or at least good.
They're hitting pretty damn well.
Yeah,
their average is their batting average is kicking ass.
What do you guys think about the Donny Cates tweet where they showed him and Stegman standing in front of the Spider-Man stuff? You think that's the next book? Is that what he's hinting at?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
He told everybody that he was going to do Silver Surfer and Thor. I wasn't on this podcast back then, but I told everybody that. Jimmy made fun of me. I was right. I don't think these guys are that complicated. You know what I mean? I think it's a lot of like razzle dazzle, but it's not like Houdini magic trick.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not trying to like throw out like, well,
It's not
don't
the-
tell anyone I'm doing Spider-Man.
It-
I'm gonna deceive them into thinking I'm doing it. Like, yeah,
it's
you
not
want
the
people to
Da
know, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's not the Da Vinci Code, man. You don't got to put 25 puzzle pieces together to figure out the algorithm.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that. Spider-Man's been lousy. Added to my long list of comics that I was like, well, I'll never read that again.
ASM 55. Let's talk about how many 85 printings there's going to be. Pink. There's going to be rainbows and fucking
I'll bring it up.
greens.
Yeah.
I'll bring it out. I'm bringing the haters out today.
Well, I'm shocked at how much that retail variant is selling for. I like the art of Kyle Willis, and I was really excited that he's getting the attention he deserves. Big deal for me. He's one of those like pseudo graffiti artists that or street artists kind of styles that like pop art sort of styles that I like. The second print, the black and red one, I think it unbelievably almost looks better than the first. I don't know what I should pay for the 1 in 50. You guys tell me what makes sense.
$25. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
I'll be honest. I talked about this. I forget. It might have been on Drunken Chat, but I think it's poor sportsmanship, bad game, whatever you want to call it. Just flipping those two colors, the black and white, is so cheesy. It's so cheesy to me. I like the red one. I think we all called the red one. We all knew there was going to be a red one, but just flipping the black and white colors, just man.
Well, and I think we'll get a third print, right, with a gold.
Gold. I would like to see some cool,
a blue.
Different,
I'd like to see a blue spider with a red or like red. They should have
like
done
a
red
neon
and
blue and black. I don't know. You could do some like cool, what do they call that? What do they call that? There's like a variant name for it in comics where they'll flip the colors.
Oh, the negative variants.
Yeah. And I get it. That's what they did for the black and whites. But usually when they do those reverse negative variants, they have really cool like neon color effects to them. And I think that would be cool to do.
Like the Tron variants back in the day.
Well, here's my thing: is like I don't know. Stein was comparing this to the Jock cover on Batman 880, and would we be nearly as enthralled with it if there were 5 different versions?
No. Well, you ready? As soon as they did the foil cover, people stopped paying attention to it. It's taken years for it to recover.
So I don't know, man. I appreciate the cover. I think it's nice, but it's like, just let's beat a dead horse at this point.
I like the red. I think the red's good. But I agree. It's just lazy. It's really, really.
They'll sell a crap ton of them.
They've been selling. Well, talk about this. This is the same thing with High Republic. I mean, the amount of money that High Republics are going for just blew me away.
Also makes no sense to me.
No sense. Those High Republics were selling. Somebody mentioned today in the chat earlier that a Hans B cover, right? The Hans is the B cover, sold for $71.
Yep.
I don't get it, but that's a good thing, I guess. If we can keep that going, I don't know what to tell people. I don't know behind the scenes. I know a lot of people are like, "This is crazy," but also you have to say this is a good thing that the comics are selling. This is another one of those touchy subjects that you kind of, when you get really down and deep into, like, I don't know what to think. I really don't.
No, but listen, that's what we're telling you. We don't know. You might make money on it, but
you better make it quick.
I'm not putting my money there. Like, you couldn't pay me to put $71 into that book right now.
Hell no. I would. And people like the Star Wars Adventures 1, the 1 in 10, and I had a buddy send me a link for those at a decent price, and I was like, I don't think I didn't pull the trigger. But it's an interesting play, and some people make money that way. I'm not an FOC guy. I used to be a long time ago. I don't play with that stuff anymore. Back when DCBS wasn't known by everyone, and I'd get my books in My Light 2s with full backs and stick them right in another box, or reuse the same box and throw a CGC thing in them and send them right back out. But like, those days are over for me, at least.
Well, there's a lot of people that did really well on these that picked up a lot of these copies and flipped them immediately, and that is the name of the game. Like, unfortunately, guys, that's one of the things that we always talk about. Like, a lot of positives in comics are made by selling quickly.
Yeah, and we've got a guy who's going to be, I think, producing some content around that sort of manner of collecting, like FOC stuff. I don't know that we're necessarily going to be talking about books pre-FOC, but he's one of the people who's pushes those numbers on those books and sells through a ton of them, and hopefully we'll have a show kind of like that here sometime soon. So if you want to see content like that, let us know, and we'll try to light a fire under his ass.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. If you're going to play that game, good. You just got to be prepared to lose some.
Yeah, absolutely. I took losses when I did it back in the day, and these days I don't like taking losses. But people who are good at it make money and have fun, and it's just a different way of collecting. I'm not trying to poo-poo any particular way of collecting. Hell, you don't have to sell anything. I love those collectors the most, right? Because they help the price tag the most.
Yeah, they do. Hey, I want to remind everybody out there that this year on the channel, we're also doing something kind of cool, and we want to see your guys' content. If you guys agree or disagree with anything on us, and you guys have some cool reviews you want to put together, send us in a video, tag us on Instagram, or send it to our Gmail account, Tales from the Flipside channel @gmail.com, or hit us up, DM it to us in our IG. We're going to be asking a lot of stuff from you guys in the future, that type of stuff. If you want to get in on talking about some of this content, we would love to see some of your stuff. So if you got a decent phone camera or an internet camera and a mic, and you want to give it a go, hit us up on IG or at our Gmail, and we'd love to hear some of your stuff.
Don't talk too hard, or we'll send sugar on you.
That's right. Don't mess with me.
So, come drone death row.
Death row. You want to go on the pickups? You want to go on the pickups to close it?
Yeah, why not? Who wants to go?
I have no pickups this week.
Oh.
I'll go. I got some fun stuff.
I got some stuff too.
I got the Brazilian mother load in, but I'm not going to show it all in 1 week because it would take all day, and there's so much fun stuff to share. I also got a couple Golden Age books in. I knew one was rough, but picked up this All Top 18. It is a rare cover, headlights, Baker art interior. No real credit on the exterior cover. I do not really think it's a Baker, but cool book. Pretty rare in the census. I think there's only 12 copies. It's not particularly high grade, but I was pretty happy with the price I got it at. I also picked up this one, which was surprisingly worse than I thought. I probably will keep it because it looks nice. Got a Rula 22 with the crocodile. I saw that there was like some weird stuff around the staples, and I thought maybe it was pulled or there was some damage. Turns out the cover is split off and somebody's just stapled it back on. But man, it looks so good. I will take the ugliest, 1.0 on known demand and just be happy with it. The price was.
It's amazing you're able to find that. Good stuff, dude.
I mean, I saw one that's nowhere near as nice, sell for a little less than I bought this, so I'll just keep it because it looks hella good in Mylar.
Hell yeah.
We'll start out with some Brazil stuff. Got a Batman Adventures 12.
Oh, nice.
A lot of Brazil stuff in the 80s, 90s was digest size, so I don't always love it, but when I find a good book, I'll take it. Kind of like a few of these. So this is actually the second edition in Brazil of this book, the digest one, the white. They're good. They're you'll get some money for them, but they're not the one you want to chase. The one you want to chase is the E-Ball, which is this guy.
Jesus.
This guy is one of the nicest copies I've ever seen.
That black's dope. That all black Punisher's dope.
Yeah, because he should look like that.
Yeah. So Brazil books are not often in good condition. This one is probably a solid 9, maybe a little better. Here's a little secret about Brazil, though. The serious collectors often took the staples out.
Jesus.
And I've come across a couple copies without staples. This one has staples. Unfortunately, they're replaced staples, so I have no idea what to do with it. I paid a price that I think was fair, and I just don't know that you're going to find a ton of copies with the original staples that aren't rusted, because Brazil is humid as hell, and almost all of them have some kind of rust on them. So I don't know. I'm just going to sit on this in a box for a few years and see what comes of it. But I mean, this is amongst Matt and the other guys that have been collecting for a while, the best, if not the second best copy they've ever seen. So we'll just sit there for a minute.
Wow.
But yeah, I've got a lot more, but I will save it for the next couple of weeks because there's too much to give you all at once. Your brains will melt.
Damn.
So.
What do you got, Nico? Anything good?
Oh, hell. Yeah, I got some stuff. So this one is from my buddy Ben, Mr. Go Collect himself. I don't even know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've been waiting.
He put it in backwards or boarded it so you couldn't see it?
Well, no, I've been waiting. I don't know. We just didn't talk about what it was. We traded.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty exciting.
What'd you give him?
I gave him the Psylocke bubblegum
Oh, okay.
finger.
You want to know
bag.
something? Freaking
Oh, shit. Look at this fucking. She beautiful.
nice.
Yeah. So for those who are unfamiliar, that's the Gwenpool 25 variant. Big fan of this particular book. I like Gwenpool like many of the other psychopaths here on the channel. And last issue of the run, ratio, pain in the ass to get. Thank you, sir. You are a gentleman.
Our friend Tim Walker years ago was on that stinking bubblegum variant. He's like, I had copies for days and I ended up selling them for $10-12.
Yeah, they're like $60-$70 now.
Yeah. He was so ahead of the curve on that one, it was scary.
It's the hardest thing, dude, is being like ahead of the curve with comics. It's why, like, at the end of the day, I just want to like sell the things that are. I think it like, wow, that doesn't make any sense that it's that expensive.
And then sometimes they triple on you, and you go, well,
well, and then other times I just want to like sell giant lots of things just to get rid of them because I need space in my home.
yeah, I knew I had a few of them because Tim talked about it, and I either dollared them out or I lost them, so I don't know where the hell they are.
All right, glad this baby came in. How you doing? I beat Z in an auction for this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pretty book.
She made a believer.
Oh, I thought I still had
All
mine sitting
right.
here. I'm gonna take it upstairs.
Oh, might not be a 9.8 anymore.
Just dropped it.
Yeah, Jesus. Might not
That's
be
what
9.8
you get for
anymore.
wanting it.
Just
That's a VF
literally
plus now.
threw it across the room. Hey, so can we talk about the one
Yeah.
thing I got back
Go
from
ahead.
CGC that I've been talking to you guys
Your
about?
hamster wheel is
Because I don't know what the fuck to do with it.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah.
oh,
A little lower.
I got this,
lower.
right? But here's the issue.
Other Laura.
What,
Kim will drop that too.
she's a newsstand, and she's a 9.8. Anybody have any concept of what I should do with this puppy? Because obviously it hasn't popped.
A Canadian newsstand 9.8.
It's not a Canadian.
No,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah, not a Canadian. That was
All
a meager error on Ben's part, but I don't know. I grabbed a bunch of other crap too, like Rogue Squadron toy things. I finally broke down and bought one of these books, which I love. Got me the Devil Dinosaur one that we talked about. I mean, just books for days. Broke down and bought a high grade copy of a couple graphic novels. I won't belabor the point with a bunch of stacks of books, but like I like this book now for one simple reason. Kang. If you do Rama Tut, maybe you do Apocalypse. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Can't
But
do
I think,
Apocalypse worse than they did.
yeah, I think there's hope again for that. Maybe. I picked up a Son of the Demon. We'll see. She's just so pretty. It was hard for me to say no. And then grabbed your girl Peach.
Okay.
McClay taught me about the Peachy. I think I paid like $20 for it. Mad Magazine, Star Wars. That's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. You know what I mean? It's the kind of stuff I enjoy. And wait, no, I'm sorry. The last one was a Tomahawk. This one's Peach, right? I always forget. I get them confused. I look for both covers. Anybody know?
No.
Nobody care?
No one cares.
I feel that. Alrighty. Well, like I said, there's just stacks on stacks of crap, but because I just buy too many books. But
And you never sell them.
I mean, I do. I just I don't.
Not enough.
Not enough. It's really it's sort of it's lightweight alarming at this point.
If Stein wasn't worse at selling books that you on time, you'd be the worst. But
Yeah.
he just never sells.
But what I did was I outsourced it, right? Like I've got somebody that helps me. Kind of.
You might need to upgrade your help.
I need
Can't find good help these days.
I need mental health help too, so there's that.
I'll go next. Fuck it. I have a little stack. So I bought this because I'm okay. So as Z is in the foreign, I'm going in the fried pie variants. So
what is that?
So it's Screaming Citadel, Star Wars Screaming Citadel. It's a I got my green screen
in the
working,
background.
but that's okay.
Yeah, it looks great with the black or with the green screen.
I know. I don't know how this is all gonna work. I bought Deadpool Kills, but this is the STC San Diego Comic Con previews from 2017, limited to 5,000.
That's a cool book.
This is another fried pie.
I need you to shoot me the info for that one. My kid would.
Dude, I like that America fried pie.
Yeah, I bought a couple of those.
Smart.
Bought A-Force Secret Wars variant. I bought one of those. I bought a couple of those. I bought my wife some Scotty Young covers.
What will you tell the folks that haven't been around a minute? Where's fried pie from?
Second and Charles. So there's a Second and Charles by me, so they do all their exclusive fried pie variants. It's kind of like Bam variants, Barnes and Noble variants like that. So here's another great Scotty Young, Princess Leia. Picked it up for the wife. I went with little X-Men with Brooks. I bought a bloody variant X-Force for $1. You can never beat that. The bloody version for $1.
No.
I bought a Campbell for $1. That's a Magneto cover. Magneto Campbell for $1. Right? Don't pass on. Here's a Marvel Age. We talked about it. Here's a Marvel Age X-Men Sabretooth. I got that.
Yeah, I like that one because it's all black.
Yeah, got it for $1. You can't see it because it's green screen, but it's fine. Here's a Wolverine Ghost Rider. So that's kind of cool. I thought, here's another Campbell I got for $1.
You can't go wrong with that one.
Here's a big shot of the leg. Strange Academy #1 third printing. Got that for like a couple bucks. This is kind of the big one of the day. This is America, the actual variant there. So,
yeah, where the hell did you find that?
You don't worry about where I find these things, goddamn. I found it at a store, an actual brick and mortar. I always pick these up when I see these. Scarlet Witch AGs. We talked about Star Wars Adventures. This is a free comic book day one. I don't know how rare it's really going to be. Probably not. Probably got overprinted by a ton, but I got it for $1, so who cares? Wolverine Casada variant from way back in the day.
Okay.
And then I'm almost done. Scotty Young, Uncanny Avengers, and I won't show that one because we'll see what's going on. Ironheart. Oh, this one's kind of weird. Ironheart, Riri Williams, kind of got it for $1. So,
yeah, Volume 1, #1. It's a good one.
Moon Girl Double Dinosaur,
Volume 2,
Comics.
sorry. I like that book.
I got it for $3. So
dude, that's a win.
Yeah, all day long.
I just threw it in there because I didn't want to think I knew what I actually was doing, so I just threw a Miss Marvel 11 in there. So.
Throw them off the scent.
Yeah, you never know, man. Hey, this is what we do out here, man.
You got to throw a couple duds in there just in case.
Oh, you always stack on top of things, man.
Yeah, put a couple
Yeah,
shitty
yeah,
ones. So they stop wasting time looking for it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's I found some other books that I guess I could show this one off because I've had it for a long time. Like I was looking through my old stuff, Wolverine. Remember this old Cable? So
Scotty Young.
Deadpool. Yeah, Scotty. It's just stuff that I see, man. Pick up stuff at the other place. You know what's funny, boys? I was telling the wife, I think I'm missing a box of slabs.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe they're at Scotty's.
No, I think I want to say they might be under my parents' shuffleboard table. I didn't
That
look
ain't all
there.
bad.
Yeah, I
It's like the gift that keeps on giving.
I looked at my comic book where I put all my comic books at, and I was like, oh, and I think I slid some in because I brought a couple over just in stages, and I finally just brought them all over at one time. And I think I put them in 2 different sections. Yeah, that's at the third La Casa that I have. So
Here, you want to see something cool I found? You won't see every place. I found a Spawn Dark Ages newsstand that is freaking gorgeous, dude. I was just like, oh. That's the little things that make me excited. See, we forgot to talk about the most interesting IG post you've seen in
it wasn't IG. It was on the Facebook.
Wherever the fuck it was.
Nobody ever.
You loved it.
Nobody ever posts anything remotely useful, in my opinion, on our Facebook group. Sometimes
or kind or polite or thoughtful.
All I know is that if you want one of these coats, we talk about hats all the time. I can get you boys some nice jackets, some red jackets. I'm gonna wear this at cons. I think I'm gonna cosplay this big night at a con. Just go to every con or everywhere I go. I'm just gonna be the guy in the red suit just buying dollar comics. The guy just comes in a red suit.
That kid wearing a red suit.
I just thought it was interesting. Somebody talked about selling their Spawn run 1 to 200, and broke down how they did it. They auctioned them off the first 100 and lots of 10, and then broke up some of the singles in the later run and some auctions of lots. But just auctioning them all off, no variants included, was 2,500 and change. Had some variants in there in the mid 200s and late 100s, and total $4,000. I'm like, I don't know that I would have thought the value of that was that high, especially the first 100 being as much as it was. I really thought that would be a dog. 1 to 99 sold for $100 or $600. I really, in my head, after the first couple issues, it kind of goes to crap in my mind. So.
Somebody bought a Curse of Spawn 17 newsstand for $7.
Yeah, I saw that one. I'd like to buy that.
Yeah.
Is that a rare one?
Yes.
Yeah. The funny part was how everybody has their little the things that they love, like that make them the happiest. These days, the thing that makes me the happiest is people who think that they're really smart about comic books that berate and bully other people about comic books, but they're actually fucking stupid. So it was amazing watching people be like, that Spawn isn't worth anything. You're a moron. And I was just like, do you by chance have one, sir? I would like to buy your copy.
I will give you $12.
Don't be a hater.
It was so good. It was so good.
Is that like the Sandman 75-second print of Spawn?
No, it's way more rare than that. Trent, the guy that runs like Spawn World, he doesn't have a copy. He's missing like 2 books or something, or you know what I mean? Like,
and that's one.
He's like, I don't think it exists.
Well, somebody just ruined his day.
Well, it's awesome though. You know what I mean? Like, I love that stuff. So I mean, and Chad Cave says, I'm sick of the newsstand craze. And like, sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Spawn newsstands make a lot of sense. Sometimes it doesn't, right? So we talked a little bit about that with respect to the first appearance of Boba Fett. Because the direct market copies, and that was a thoughtful, post that sort of kind of discussion maybe. on the CBSI Facebook page. But like, so sometimes it makes a lot of sense, sometimes it doesn't. Image newsstands make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, they make serious sense.
I'm not
a lot of stuff
newsstand
doesn't.
collector. I mean, I don't poo-poo it. I understand people that like them. It's just not my thing. I
Well, they're
don't
like 35-cent price variants for newsstand image, right? Like late number spawns, like that. You know what I mean? It's that level of like rarity plus a little tweak. Some people don't give a shit about the 30-cent price set or the price variance or the 35-cent price variance or the Mark Jeweler variants or whatever. Some people really do.
I think it's for the people that are hardcore on a character, a book, or an age, and they want something rare. I mean, we all hunt in our own ground. I mean, I'll hunt Golden Age and foreigns, and other people that just love the 80s, 90s. They're going to hunt these newsstands, and the people that love the 70s are going to hunt the 35-cent variants.
Yeah, the Star Wars newsstands from the Dark Horse Star Wars newsstands make a lot of sense, right? Like you saw that one.
Yeah.
I've got, for the record, full disclosure, I've got 2 other copies of that Knights of the Old Republic 9 behind me. I don't give a shit about them and they're super valuable books and super cool books, but they're not a newsstand. So it's not like, wow, I didn't even know that there were newsstand copies in that higher grade. It just kind of like ups the ante for that sort of thing. I think for a lot of people who are really looking for like the Indiana Jones hunt for the Holy Grail kind of experience when it comes to comics.
Yeah. Teach their own, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll look for them, but I'm likely going to sell most of them unless I just happen to find that issue that's like means something to me. Then maybe.
After the show, when we go off air, Nico, I just made the best purchase of my life, probably, and you're gonna hate me for it.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And we talked about it literally like 15 minutes ago.
Ghost Rider.
Nope.
Good.
Well, before the podcast, remember?
All right.
You gave this book away when you were so pissed about it. That's okay.
Me.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Now I'm trying to remember. I can't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, never mind. I do.
Good.
We need theme music. That's it for the show, guys. Got to go. Bye.
I wonder what Dino got.
This is interesting right here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle image newsstands are impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, they are. Absolutely. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle image books are tough. Right? I mean, like, there's just those sorts of, like, things that make sense, like Z was saying, to the rabid fan base that might not make sense to, an average person. But, like, I'm somebody who sells comics. I like selling modern comics. I don't really like selling Golden Age comics because then I'm like, shit, how am I ever going to get one of those again?
Yeah.
But, sometimes I let go of modern comics that are so rare, and it's the same deal. It's like, how am I? Like, I had the last issue of Spawn Newsstand that I sold, and now I'm like, that's going to be a pain in the ass to find again.
I've sold some books I regret, and a couple modern.
I just sold my Spawn newsstand signed by McFarlane. Just sold it. So
I put a little hole in your heart for a minute.
No, it actually felt pretty good. I mean, it was a 9.6, and I think I sold it for like 600 or something like that,
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Oh, it is what it is.
Get in line, man. You got to get in line.
Get in line, brother. By the way, I do want to remind everybody, Frank Gogol tomorrow night on Comic Book Women. Make sure you guys tune in. Frank is one of the coolest creators in comic books and a real big friend of the channel that we appreciate more than he will ever know. So make sure you guys check out Comic Book Women tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific. So,
yeah. Hey, Bob. Where's my buddy Bob? I don't know what book you're talking about, but if you're talking about the Sabretooth book, I felt that when you said that, bro. I felt that in my heart. I feel that in my heart. Like, and I got real lucky. I don't know if I showed it on the podcast, but I looked for 2 years for the first appearance of the Starjammers, the first Gladiator price variant, and got lucky with being able to buy a copy at market. Like some of those things are just so rare, they just never ever come to market. We talked about the Hulk 181 Mark Jeweler book. You know, obviously there's Mark Jeweler inserts for the first appearance of Cable and Deadpool and lots of beloved characters from that age that don't come to market that often. You know, and people who are really have made it like a kind of a mission to get them. I think that stuff's neat, but I'm also a little sick in the head. So, well,
Cool.
you done,
Well,
boys?
I think we're getting close to that time. Hey, listen, we appreciate everybody. Thank you for hanging out and joining us live on the show. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell. We'd
Actually really appreciate the like. Like that's not just like fucking verbiage. We need it for the algorithm. So thank you. And if you didn't like the show, thumbs down it. I don't fucking care. I'm just happy you're here.
Well, and I will say one last time that you guys, honesty in comics in 2021. Let's make this community even better. Let's keep it honest and make it enjoyable for everybody. And make sure to hit us up on our IG. We'll see you next time.
Come
Adios.
to death row.
Woo!